Shai, thanks for being with us. Congrats on the big news. What does it mean to you to be selected as the first Indigenous woman to appear on the upcoming televised Winnipeg Comedy Festival?
It means a lot, actually. I've always been an advocate for Indigenous representation, and I started comedy because of Indigenous representation. So I thought this would be a really good, important thing for other Indigenous people to see.
What's the journey been like for you to get to this point in your career?
I've been doing comedy since 2019, so about six-ish years. It's been really fun, like very scary too. It's scary to get up on stage and have everybody, looking at you and, a spotlight and a microphone even. Stand-up comedy is considered one of the most condensed forms of comedy. And getting here has, I dealt with a lot of anxiety as well. But mostly it's been fun.
Yeah. We've had a lot of comedians recently on the shows over the last couple of years, many of them Indigenous women as well. What do you think is going on out there in the comedy world that we're starting to see more Indigenous peoples, I guess, up on the stage?
I do believe that representation has a lot to do with it, and the fact that Indigenous media, TV, film, theater, comedy, has largely been focused on the stories of our trauma. And those are important stories to tell, I do believe that. But, the image of the Hollywood Indian was a stereotype created by non-Indigenous people. Like, we're not this stoic, noble, unsmiling people that are represented in the media. We're funny. Indigenous humor is so embedded into our culture. It's a way to teach, history, societal norms, creation stories, and a form of entertainment. So I believe that now that humor is starting to shine through.
Well, speaking to that, many of our viewers will be familiar with your work from the comedy series Acting Good, where, of course, your favorite soap opera is about the stoic native there. But, it airs here on APTN. How important has that show been for you, but also just for Indigenous peoples?
I like that it's set in an Indigenous community. So it's set in the fictional res of Grouse Lake. It's a fly-in community. It's important because often reserved people don't see themselves represented on big screens like that. And like I've mentioned before, it's not a trauma-based comedy. It's silly, it's absurdist, and it's time that Indigenous peoples are seen more in comedy spaces, right?
Tina Keeper, who's a producer of Acting Good and appears on the show, recently shared a post that season 4 of the show is in production, which is great news. Did you know that the show was going to be so successful?
When I first started reading the script, I personally thought it was hilarious. And it being on a major Canadian network, I think that really helped with, being seen by a larger audience. I didn't think it was going to become the #1 hit show on CTV Comedy Channel, and that we would be nominated for Best Comedic Ensemble at the Canadian Screen Awards last year. But I did know that it would resonate with a lot of people, especially those, living in Indigenous communities or growing up in the Indigenous experience.
Well, it's a hilarious show. Lots of great people working on it. Shai, congrats on Acting Good, but of course on the new news here. We'll be watching when the Winnipeg Comedy Festival airs. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dennis. And that's your daytime newscast for this Wednesday, March 26th. We're back again for your evening newscast in a few hours. Please join us then. From all of us at APTN National News, hi miigwech masichok kwana. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again. Ekse.